Peace to everybody, back with another video. This is Dominique Gardner breaks her silence on surviving R. Kelly Part 2. And yes, I have listened to her story on Lifetime, and it was heartbreaking of what R. Kelly had done to Dominique Gardner. And she finally broke her silence after I don't know how long, and it was heart-touching and heartbreaking and everything else. And of course, as you can see here in the screenshot, is R. Kelly himself, who is currently sitting in a jail cell waiting on a trial that's coming April this year. When Lifetime aired Surviving R. Kelly last year, we watched desperate parents go on a journey to rescue their young daughters from R. Kelly. The only one that was successful was Michelle Kramer, the mother of Dominique Gardner, one of his living girlfriends. Now, a year later, Gardner and Kramer have returned for Surviving R. Kelly Part 2, The Reckoning, to discuss what life after the Pied Piper has been like. So last year, Surviving R. Kelly aired on Lifetime. And of course, the parents were on a journey to rescue their daughters. The only one that was successful was Michelle Kramer, because she got her daughter, Dominique Gardner, out of R. Kelly's clutches. And of course, Dominique Gardner was one of his living girlfriends, but I know when you do everything you can to rescue your daughters, it is hard to keep somebody away from them, but you have to do what you have to do. And then it says that now, a year later, Gardner and Kramer have returned for Surviving R. Kelly Part 2, The Reckoning, to discuss what life after the Pied Piper has been like. So she broke her silence finally. I did see tears run down her eyes on Lifetime, because it was hard for her to talk about it, but she needed to get her story out. Kramer said even though she was beyond happy to have her daughter home, she still had sleepless nights. Yeah, so the mother was beyond happy, and of course her daughter, to have her daughter home, but Kramer is still having sleepless nights because you never know what is going to happen. I didn't even sleep that night because I'm watching her, because she couldn't sleep because she was worried about what he was going to say. So the mother couldn't even sleep at all. Just couldn't, because her daughter couldn't sleep either. The mother was worried about what R. Kelly was going to say to her, and he has taken things way too far, and this is why he's sitting in jail now until his trial date in April. Gardner also discussed the abuse she encountered during her 9 years of being with Kelly, like having her hair pulled out as punishment and being starved while locked in a room for days. And so Gardner did discuss the abuse. Her hair was pulled out by R. Kelly. I guess if you're not following orders or whatever, then that's what happens. So it's just terrible what he did to her. She did say, like, having her hair pulled out as punishment and being starved while locked in a room for days. So Dominique Gardner was starved. She only weighed 98 pounds, and that is totally underweight, because she was locked in a room for days. When Gardner returned home, she was 98 pounds and haunted by the abuse she suffered while living with Kelly and his other girlfriends, Joycelyn Savage and Angela Clary. She said she also dealt with guilt for leaving them behind. So Gardner did return home, She was 98 pounds, like I said. She was haunted by the abuse she suffered while living with Kelly and his other girlfriends, Joycelyn Savage and Azrael Clary. They were also being abused as well. She said she also dealt with guilt for leaving them behind. So Gardner really felt guilty of leaving Joycelyn Savage and Azrael Clary behind. But really, it's never a woman's fault. Because if your mom's coming to get you, then you got to go with your mom. I felt bad for leaving her because it's like we was all we had, Gardner said. That's not my heart. I don't just leave people hanging. Yeah, so she felt bad in her heart that she had to leave the two other girls behind. And she also said, I don't just leave people hanging, but in this case, she had to because her mother, Michelle, wants her to go now, get away from R. Kelly. Shortly after leaving, she returned to Kelly. Once she was not allowed to attend her brother's graduation, she left for the last time. Yeah, so she went back to R. Kelly. R. Kelly told her she was not allowed to go to her brother's graduation. First of all, I would tell R. Kelly to kiss my booty because you don't tell me what to do. So then Gardner left again, and this time it was for the last time that she left R. Kelly. When asked about if she dressed masculine because Kelly had desires to be with men, she didn't comment. However, a former employee whose identity was not revealed, there may be some truth to this theory. Alright, so R. Kelly had desires to be with men? Well, what does that tell you? I'm beginning to wonder if he was bisexual or not. I'm just wondering. I'm not saying that he is. I'm not saying that he's not. And I'm just saying I'm wondering. Gardner, she didn't comment. However, a former employee whose identity was not revealed, there may be some truth to this theory. So, whoever the employee is, their identity did not want to be revealed. I was not aware of Robert having attractions to boys until a couple of the girls in the house started to talk about there being a guy that he was involved with who would sometimes come into the bedroom with them. They said in the dock. So I guess the girls were not aware of Robert having attraction to boys. Wow, that's a shocker. Until a couple of the girls in the house started to talk about there being a guy that he was involved with who would sometimes come into the bedroom with them. So R. Kelly was having all these sex things going on. Kelly has been charged with 10 counts of criminal sexual abuse and is facing 3 to 7 years for each account. So he's been charged with 10 accounts plus more. Then the latest one is the bribery charges. So, he's going to be facing a lot of time in jail for everything that he has done. Dominique Gardner did not deserve to have her hair pulled out at all. She did not deserve it. That was wrong what he did to her. And when her mother saw her hair, she was totally upset about her daughter's hair that was pulled out and everything else. And I'm glad that she broke her silence, and now that she is away from R. Kelly, she will never go back to him again because it took her like 9 years to finally realize that she doesn't want to be around him anymore. So this is why she is now currently trying to put her life back together And when she does, she will be stronger than ever. And it's just not right for what R. Kelly has done to her. Leave your comments below. I am out.